Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the number one outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
What's good? What is up, HBCU family? It's your girl, Destiny Kerr, a senior public health major hailing from the Show Me State herself, currently in attendance at the illustrious Xavier University of Louisiana, the top 6 HBCU. Act like you know. Here today with a series of interviews to kick off the HBCU Experience movement. We'll be talking all things dance with our latest book, The HBCU Experience Dance Ed Edition. Now listen, this is an amazing book with some great notable alumni. Y'all know the vibes. Hashtag HBCU Pride. Today we have here the Impact herself. Not only was she a Southern alumni, but once a member of the fabulous Dancing Dolls. Y'all act like y'all know. Furthermore, she's performed with artists such as Ty Tribbett, Nicki Minaj, Madonna, etc. And currently she works within her community, serving as a project manager in Houston, Texas. Today we have here Miss Chauncey McCoy. How we doing? How we feeling?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You look good today, baby.
So do you.
Yes. It's great to have you. I'm so excited to be interviewing to you today. So we're going to get into a couple of things. So I want you to first introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm Chauncey McCoy from Monroe, Louisiana. Obviously, I'm a graduate of Southern University. Big moment there, Southern University Dancing Dolls. Mm-hmm. I currently live in New Orleans, where I am a pre-K teacher at the Good Shepherd, and also have a business in dance. So
okay.
little bit.
Okay, yeah. Hold on, I might have to come take some classes.
Come on, girl.
Okay. So, what made you choose Southern as your HBCU?
So first of all, tops.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, I literally went to Southern to dance.
Okay.
So I actually had gotten a dance scholarship at Howard.
What? Hold on, Howard?
But the housing. Listen.
Oh yeah.
But they used to have this organization called Girl Power. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like a mentorship program for young girls. And so I was there, and the Dolls actually came to perform. And I was like, listen, let me be clear. I went to every Grambling game, like all of them as a kid. Mm-hmm. Never been that inspired.
What?
Hey.
Ooh.
But when I saw the Dolls, like I was completely mesmerized. Like I related with it. Like it felt like something I could do. It felt like something I could relate to. It was classy. It was like all the things. Like as a natural dancer, obviously it was just an easy choice for me.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right. Period. Yes. So hold on. Not you didn't like Grambling. Why did you was inspired by Grambling?
I mean, they're amazing, but there was something about the Dolls that just resonated with me. It was the grace in the class and all the things. Not to say that other HBCUs don't have the same, but it touched me differently. So yeah.
Yeah. So walk us through your time on the yard at Southern, starting with your freshman year.
Okay. I will say a lot of my experience at Southern was completely dedicated to Dolls. So freshman year, obviously, and I also talk about this in the chapter, right? Mm-hmm. Come from, you're 17 years old, right? Mm-hmm. 18 at best. And everything about you is a part of where you're from, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
The identity that you have is what your parents gave you or what you were raised believing or, who you had to be to please your parents or to please your, right? So, I think entering college, just for anybody, is that first step of having to figure out, aside from where you're from and not from how you're raised, who you truly are, right? So that was my freshman year. all the way up until my senior year, I feel like I learned something new about myself every year. And I think I've had like a huge part in that, because it shaped my identity, right? I mean, woke up practicing, went to sleep practicing every day of the week, every weekend, traveling. Like my craft sisters, like that's the only people that I was with for the most part. So yeah, I think it was just like an evolution of becoming who I am.
Yeah. So what about your sophomore year?
Oh, sophomore year? Well, let's see. There is a big distinction because like there's some like level of normalcy that you feel in your sophomore year, but you're still an underclassman. So it's like there's still like so long to go. I think like for me, because my high school was predominantly white, I think like I had like a better appreciation. So like that freshman year, I'm still like my worldviews are a little shaken because like the culture is different.
Right.
Sophomore year, I'm like leaning, right? I'm like, wait, no, I'm for the culture. Like, what is happening? So that's the biggest difference between my freshman year and my sophomore year, I would say.
Okay. So we're leaning, we're stepping into different things. So what about your junior year?
So let me be clear. I'm old girl. Like we're talking 20,
But that's crazy because I would have never knew that though. You giving me like 24, 25, 23 vibes. Yeah, that's what it's giving. So I would have never knew.
But
Black don't crack.
Honestly, like I can't recall like specific years and what happened those specific years. I just know like over time what it looked like.
Right. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So if you can recall, because I know senior year will be big. So how was your senior year for you? Post-graduation, graduating, how was that for you?
Yeah, I think like it was just culture. It was like a shock, right?
Yeah.
I'm so used to being with like a certain group of people. And like everyone's leaving, like people are forming their lives, people are like graduating and moving or staying or starting their families, things like that. So it was like a bittersweet year, right? Like I'm excited, but then also me personally, I didn't necessarily have a plan.
Right.
Figuring things out, like had life stuff going on. But I will say this Bayou Classic, I went back to like, I always like dig into YouTube videos of like whatever. And I was like watching the moment where like we had to like turn it over to like the class who was under us. And it was April dancing. And I'm like, this girl is grown. She got a baby and a husband. And I'm sitting here crying, like, look at that baby go. Like, so like it's just like those bittersweet, like I'm proud, but I'm sad, but like I'm sad, like all the emotions. So
Yeah. So out of your whole entire time being at Southern, like what was your best year? Like what can you say was like your best year?
My best year.
Or what was your favorite experience at Southern? Like what was like one of the highlights of you being at Southern?
Probably dancing in the Super Bowl. Like it just really doesn't get any bigger than that, right?
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. We did like I feel like we did in 2011 or 12. When we did the halftime performance with Madonna. And the following year was when like Beyonce came and she was doing the Super Bowl performance in New Orleans. So we had did pregame. So I did like 2 Super Bowls back to back. Like, yeah, that was a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal.
So have you danced for like any other artists other than Madonna and Beyonce?
Oh, you're taking me back, right? I feel like we danced with Shaka Khan, Bet, MIA at the time. Girl, that's all I got right now.
No, it's okay, but that's still like a really that's still really good though. Like the fact that Southern had those opportunities for you guys. And, any girl that's watching like that is interested, like Southern is giving opportunity on opportunity, baby. That's what it's giving. I love that. Yes. So how does it feel now? You've danced, we've been a fabulous dancing doll, now you're an alumni. So how does it feel to be a featured author in the HBCU experience?
It feels really good. I feel like it was really unexpected, right? I feel like everyone, like there's a fan group for dancers, but then there's a big fan group for bands, and then there's the overall fan group for the HBCU.
Right.
So to recognize us and like understand that we have stories and that like we've been impacted and that like our time spent was meaningful to someone, and to have the opportunity to like open the door of communication for what that looks like for people coming behind us. I think like, is a pretty big deal, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to give anything away, but can you tell us a little bit about your chapter, what we can expect in your chapter?
So my chapter, so I didn't talk about like my preparation or like any specific things that happened. I feel like I'm just a big picture person. Like I can't do this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, girl, what's the overarching thing? Like, but I kind of touch on Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how like one need can be met before the one under it is met. And so like you have your basic needs like food, water, safety, but then you have higher needs, and it gets into, like self-esteem, and above self-esteem is like self-actualization, right? And so I just talked about how, you know, like I came in and kind of like how I talked about before, like trying to figure out what that identity is. Yeah. And so like being in the doll room, how that like shaped my esteem. I began to like see myself in the affirmations and like the recognition that came from being on the yard, and also being a part of such a great legacy, and how that helped me internally, right? Yeah, and then how over time I had to figure out like just having self-esteem is not enough, because that doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help like the crab class that's coming after me. And so like finding my own voice, right? I'm not Datara, I'm not Kayla, I'm not Sierra. So like as a leader in that space, what do I believe? Like what am I operating in? What values am I operating in? And so like it's just like I personally talk about the evolution of 1, finding your own identity, 2, honing in on like who you are, and then 3, how does that play out in how you interact with and impact the people who come to you, right? Yeah.
I love it. So I know I'm gonna be reading that chapter. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna read that chapter for sure. Yes. So before we go, where can we find you on socials?
Oh, girl, Chauncey.L.M_.
And that's on all platforms, just Instagram.
I don't have no Snapchat.
Nope.
I don't have no TikTok. Nope.
So just Instagram.
Yep.
Shout out to Instagram. Well, thank you so much. I definitely enjoyed interviewing you. I might have to talk to you about them dance classes here soon in the DM. Yeah. But yes, y'all make sure to check out Miss Chauncey McCoy's chapter. And again, thank you so much for coming on. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.